Ever since the day that you went away, you've been sending flowers, flowers to me. Flowers today, flowers today. Instead of sending flowers, come back to me and hold me in your arms again. Flowers.
Hey guys, today I will be judging Shatter Me by Mafi. Shatter Me is set in a post-apocalyptic world. It's been destroyed by multiple different disasters. Everyone is kind of very sad and starving. There's this government called the Establishment that's like taken over everything, and it's very controlling of like food and water and just basic needs to survive. Our main protagonist, Juliet, is locked in an asylum at the beginning of the story because whoever she touches dies, or at the very least has a lot of pain inflicted upon them. So solitary, because she's in solitary, it takes a toll on her, and so she's a little out of it for a long time. Eventually, she meets a mysterious cellmate named Adam, who I cannot stand, and the reestablishment deems her as a tool that's going to be used for like torture and stuff. And so she's roped into that politics. So we are going to be jumping into the non-spoiler section of this video where I will not spoil anything for you. In this book, the writing is very flowery and very dramatic. Sometimes, however, the writing just like pushes it and I'm like, oof. Symbolism is very well done, but it remains the same intensity the entire way through, and that intensity is like 110%. It's just like metaphor after metaphor after metaphor after metaphor. There's a bunch of really cool moments, but they happen throughout the whole book, so it's like it's not special anymore, and it's just kind of like meh. I think that kind of a vibe would fit more of a short story, because like I feel like it would be her writing style would be so cool as a short story. If it was to be continued, I feel like it should be more spread out. There are some really cool metaphors in here. There's this one famous one where it's like my jaw was dangling from my shoelaces. The overall story is okay, but it's very, very similar to Hunger Games. It's another American post-apocalyptic story. It's kind of overdone, in my opinion. There's a lot of those stories. The pacing, because of the writing style, it slows it down in the very beginning, because it's just, I can tell she's trying to symbolize the chaos in Juliet's mind, but it didn't work for me. So the characters, we've gotten to the characters. The two main characters were just very flat and boring. I feel like they had really no personality and they seemed kind of like dead on the page. Their motivations were just kind of shaky, and I wasn't really like, yeah, Juliet. That's not even. The couple of side characters though were very well done. I feel like they had much more of a personalized voice. I also thought the villain in this story was very good and very interesting to read. There were a couple of hints, however, that they were going to make him like forgivable, and I was like, ugh. The main ship, I didn't like it. It was just so boring and so like, it seemed so forced. I wasn't rooting for it. I was like, some of the scenes I skipped because I was like, I cannot read another scene of this. Particularly Adam, he needs to learn boundaries. We will be entering the spoiler section now. If you're thinking of reading this book, you're gonna wanna click away now. I did like the strikeouts. I don't think that they were as overdone as the language was. I think chapter 1 was very beautifully written. It was the same like level the entire way through. Why is she so obsessed with jawlines? I don't understand. Every single male character is described with a jawline. Literally, when Adam walks in, she's like, he had a strong jaw. Like, okay. This is how she describes Kenji. I read this and I was like, he does have a spectacular face, a defiant jawline, perfect eyebrows, eyes as black as his hair, sleek, strong, a bit dangerous. Who describes someone like that? Who's like, do you meet someone, you're like, he's strong, sleek, a bit dangerous. There were just so many styles and metaphors that it clogged the story up for a while. There were also a couple of infodumps that I found that were just like, I don't even know if they were infodumps so much as Juliet just like in her feelings. So it was just her being like, oh so sad. Oh, my life. Like, every morning she woke up and she was like, oh, I gotta go back to my notebook and just... This is the whole story, just Juliet being like, ugh. On the back, there's just this line. I don't know why they put it on the back, because I remember reading this and being like, the moon understands what it means to be human, uncertain, alone, cratered by imperfections. Like, it's just, you read that and you go, ooh. There were also a couple of moments that I was just like, what? Adam said the line, the word dead or whatever. And it says, I touch the word on his lips and he kisses my fingers. Like, imagine that, dead. Like, ew. It's literally, I think it's in my book, just, yeah. Ew. Juliet was just very boring, and her only attributes were being just sad and broken. You can be sad and broken, you can make a character sad and broken, but they need a personality. I did think that she wrote her insane parts very well, so like you really could see the chaos in her mind. Like I mentioned before, let's cross the line. Adam, I hate him. On page 39, Juliet's like, just don't touch me. And Adam's like, maybe I want to touch you. A reminder, they just met. Who says that to someone they just met? That's terrifying. What on earth? And then he gets mad at her because then she goes, yeah, no, I don't want to be touched. And he gets like, oh, do you not like me? Am I that disgusting for you? And it's like, after she's been taken by the reestablishment and she's like in her room and they're like, oh, there's a bathroom. And he like, there's no cameras in the bathroom. And then very creepily forces her into the bathroom. And then he's like, and she's like, oh no, because, you know, that's terrifying. And then he gets annoyed because he was going to tell her clearly something important. And then he just doesn't tell her. He's just like, Juliet, I didn't mean it for, ugh. And then walks away. Juliet and Adam, what is going on with them? They pull the thing where it's like, we met as kids and we saw each other from afar and I fell in love with you and I've been in love with you all these years. Like, you never talked to her. How do you know what she's like? Like, they've really only been talking to each other for like 2 weeks. And he's like, I know I love you. I love you because you once like let this one girl like cheat off of your test. Like, what? And he's just also incredibly possessive. He's so possessive. Like, Kenji is flirting with her and because he's a freaking idiot. And Adam cocks a gun and puts it to his head. That's such an overreaction, man. Chill out. So Kenji and James are the only characters who deserve right. Kenji's actually like super sweet and like, yeah, he jokes around, but like, he's so like nice. Of course, James is just adorable. Of course, he's like 10 years old. Perfect, love him. I feel like they just like have their own character voices. I can tell it's Kenji talking because he talks a certain way. And like, I can tell it's James talking because he talks a certain way. Adam is just there. There's also an extreme lack of women characters in this book. Like, besides Juliet, there's like no other main female characters in here, which was a big problem. They are all guys. I also want to talk about Warner, because Warner is a great villain that was taken advantage of. Making Juliet kill Jenkins like that, or like touch Jenkins, whatever, was such a good villain move, and I loved that. But Juliet's not gonna die. We know she's not gonna die because Warner's like, oh, you're one of me, I'm broken just like you. And then he's like, I won't shoot you. You can't shoot her. Don't shoot her. No. And so we know Juliet's not gonna die. So why do we care? I mean, Adam could get shot, but we don't care about Adam because he sucks. Also, I really, really hate the little suggestions that they're going to make him sort of like a love interest because, oh, by the way, Adam can touch her because, you know, kissing and stuff. Warner can also touch her, so I'm like, Oh boy, here we go. At the end of the book, there's, like, in my book at least, there's a little novella in the back called Destroy Me, so if you don't want spoilers, skip to this timestamp, I'll put it here. At the beginning of the book, Warner kills this soldier. His name is like Fletcher or whatever, and because he was like talking and consorting with the rebels, right? It's revealed later that that soldier was like beating and starving his family, and like he beat his wife so bad that she lost her baby, and it was like, oh, that's a bad situation. He killed him under the guise that he was like consorting with rebels to save the family. What are you doing here? It's just such a weird point because throughout the whole book, he's been like such a terrifying villain, aside from like the really low stakes stuff. And I understand he's supposed to be a great character, and I love villains that are great characters, but like that's a little too gray. It's also just like conflicting because he's done so many other awful things. Like he's really controlling and manipulative to Juliet, and you can't just have him be like, oh, I killed an abuser, and then he's all better. Like, it's not all better. That's not how things work. He invades her privacy and reads her journal. He says, finding her journal has crippled me. My feelings for her have spiraled out of control. I'm just so worried they're gonna make him a love interest, and I haven't read the other books. Like, they've already dug him this hole of creepiness, because he also watched footage of her while she was in the insane asylum, which is really weird. So they've already dug him this hole, so like you can't really get him out of that by just being like, he murdered an abuser. That's not how things work. Also, she wears a purple suit at the end, and like in my mind it's the stupidest looking thing because she has this violet bodysuit and she's got these like really long rubber gloves and these black ankle boots, and everyone's like, oh my god, she's so hot. And it's like, do you know what she's wearing? I also thought that the idea that there's more people who have powers was very interesting and fun. Yeah, that was my review on Shatter Me. I hope you guys liked it. I gave it 2 out of 5 stars. I have not read the ones afterwards, so I don't know how those go. Bye, thank you for watching. Every single male character is described with a jawline.
Don't kink shame Lorelai.
Okay. So if you're thinking of reading this book, ow, my neck cracked. Sometimes though, it... I swear I'm gonna get a microphone.
Okay.
Hi Zuko, how are you? Here's my cat. Baby. Ah. Okay, go away.
What a sweetie.
Baby. And
I
love him.
Kitty.
Baby, you gotta. I'm sorry, man. I'm filming. I know.
You want me to put him outside?
No. Okay. Hold on. Oh my god. Okay. Oh. It's a struggle today, you know.
Oh, he pushed open the door.
Oh, he's so cute.
Sorry.
Oh, you're carrying him like a burlap sack.